about book production in Greek, we talk about printed book. Printed books have the lion's share. This is also happens worldwide, but in Greece it happens even more than other countries because e-book doesn't have the impact that has in other countries and industries. Focusing on 2024, we will see that 94.6% of books in Greece are printed books. As for the categories, as you can see, literature has the greatest share, 4,133 books for 24. Children's books and teenage books are around 2,800 books in 2024. And we also have academic and scientific books as well. This amounts to 2,800 books for 2024. This is the distribution of Greek book production per thematic category. Fiction is 52%, non-fiction 48%. Literature is 37%, and when we say literature, we include both prose and poetry. As you can see, literature covers a big part of book production. Non-fiction is also very interested in Greek with ideas, politics, and narratives. This is a way that shows the extroversion of Greek culture and Greek knowledge to other countries. Concerning the translation of Greek books, the translated books, the main languages that Greek books are translated are English, and then English, Spanish, French, Italian. In 2024, 2,244 books were published in English, 490 in French, and 194 in Italian. The Italian books from Italian into Greek increased significantly. This is the result of the fact that Italy was the honored country last year. This cannot be seen in these figures here. We will see that in some other statistics given by the Organization for Discourse Management. But this is due to the bonds that were created among translators. So the impact of book fairs and translation has an effect and has affected book production, and that's what we wanted to cultivate. Concerning the translated titles, you can see here the fluctuation. In 2024, 32% were translated titles. Compared to the past, we can see a drop in translation. Before the crisis, economic crisis, we had more translated books. They were around 40-45%. This can be explained by economic figures and the translation cost and royalties market. But this has stabilized in recent years. It's around 30-32%. Concerning the price of books, this is an important factor. We should see how affordable are books. In 2024, an average book price is 17.6 euros. This had to do with books of 400 pages, not hardback or scientific ones. That's an average. In general, books remain an accessible good to the broader public. Publishers have absorbed various types of costs, for example, paper cost and VAT in Greece, it's 6%, one of the lowest of Greek products. So this can give a further boost so that Greek books remain affordable. I've talked to you about the electronic era and e-books in Greece. E-books in Greece have an important production. In 2024, they were around 946 first publication e-books. We have a retrospective publication of printed books concerning the market and the sales, although we don't have official figures concerning the sales industry, we can see that the Greek e-book is not more than 1% in sales. That's a very low percentage, and this confirms the printed character of Greek books. Another type of book that has developed in the electronic era is audiobooks. 1,600 audiobooks came out from 2021 to 24. They are digital audiobooks, not in CD. More than 30 publishers were involved. This soaring number is due to the fact that two big players came in Greece, Jukebooks and one more, that created an important offer of books. But we must confirm the demand. We must see whether the audiobooks model has the sustainability that these two companies were expecting to have. The main business models are the following. You can either download an audiobook and buy it, or you can enter the platform and have a subscription, and you pay an amount of money per month and listen to as many audiobooks as you like. So audiobook is one more form of books in Greece, but it's not as large as it is elsewhere. However, it seems that what is needed is a culture and a mentality preparation for the public. Greek readers, listeners must realize the importance of and utility of audiobooks. This is all I wanted to tell you about book production. I'd like also to present here some data concerning the publishing industry. Our title this year is Book Generators. We'll talk about AI, of course. But the content creators in Greece are publishers. In Greece, we have 800 to 1,000 active publishers, from very small up to very big for the Greek data. Most of these publishers and the producers of these publishers are 92%. They are commercial editors and publishers. We're not talking about cultural organizations and museums that publish books. Most of them have their headquarters in Athens. We have quite a few publishers in Thessaloniki and in the regions of Greece. What are the main characteristics of the Greek book publishing industry? It focuses on printed books. We have mainly SMEs. They are the majority in the industry. We have very few big publishers concerning the turnover, the personnel, and the book production. they are commercial business companies. They focus on literature, yet they also produce children, teenage books, and non-fiction books. So they are general publishers in general. Another characteristic that we have in our country is what we call bibliodiversity, book diversity, which involves the several themes that we translate or produce, but it has to do with the fact that we focus a lot on the illustration of children's book, on the cover, on the paper, on the high aesthetics of the book, on the printing. So Greek publishers pay a lot of attention to that. As you stroll around the stands here, the publisher stands here, you will see how beautiful the publications are. Another characteristic of the Greek publishing industry is that we have lack of the model of merging, of having large-scale economies. That's why I've told you that we have a lot of small and very small businesses and SMEs, and we don't have mergings. Self-publication, either in printing or in e-books, is a fact in Greek reality. Digital platforms have given a boost to that. There is a reversal of the model, which is mainly a model in which authors offer something to publishers. This creates a lot of confusion in several issues concerning the content and the distribution of books. One reason of hyper overproduction is this self-production. The state also buys a lot of scientific and academic books. There is the Evdoxos platform that is financed by the state, because the state gives all the books, scientific books, free of charge to all university students. Recently, we've been having the emergence and increasing of e-commerce, not only concerning digital books, but mainly printed books. We buy electronically, but we buy a printed book electronically. We enter the bookshop site and we buy that. Social media has also increased in Greece. In the past, publishers were very reserved in using Instagram and TikTok, and we'll have discussions on that. Yet, social media are a big tool concerning the visibility of books and the dissemination of content in young generations, which is extremely important, as we will find out during our discussions later on. Concerning now the basic categories, the trends in the Greek publishing industry, we have the books of self-improvement, of self-development, Gothic novels and comics. We have important production. Additionally, several literature books that are turned into comic books that attract new audiences. For example, Kazantzakis' books is such a case. Biographies and self-biographies is an extremely important sector in Greece that keeps on development, not only for politicians, but also for people from sports, cinema. So this means that we have an opening to a reading public that is not so much interested in literature. We also have a very good industry of children books and teenage books with excellent high-quality content. On our site, on the side of the Hellenic Foundation for Books and Culture, you can see all the details about the pillars of strategy that we follow. One main strategy is the development of reading mentality and culture. That's why this year we are organizing a special program called Love Reading. And the title is We Read and We Live Through Reading. This program is starting today, and it will continue for a whole year. That's the first venture, and it's extremely important for our industry and country because we work together with several sectors and agencies. Our foundation wants to develop partnerships with publishers, libraries. We all have the same goal to have impact on young generation and on professionals to show them how they can find tools and use digital tools, and not only. The President earlier presented you GreekLit, BIBLIONET, Greek books in print. This is the platform that started in 1998. There we're trying to record and write down the Greek book production. We are developing the new version of BIBLIONET on our foundation. We want it to be a book basis that will include the history of the Greek book and will create a bigger extroversion of Greek book. We can also find the English title of Greek books, so you can enter there and see the Greek reality at real time. We will also include the Greek books that have been published abroad in various countries. You can easily find which Greek books were published in Romania or in Slovenia, for example. That's important because we can have a knowledge and cohesion of the Greek content that exists elsewhere. This should be accessible. The Thessaloniki International Book Fair this year is very important. Those of you who have come the previous years, you can see some new elements this year. We will have the free entrance of visitors. We want to be able to collect the data of all visitors in order to be credible. Schools will be visiting the fair from the very beginning. They can go through the stands, and a lot of children have already been here this morning, and they have bought a lot of books. It's very important to have children here. Some children told me it's like a maze, a labyrinth here, but it's a very nice labyrinth. So that was impressive to their mind. These children might not read, but after this visit, they might have the desire to live. I also talked to you about the program called We Read. This is a new venture of ours in order to promote love reading in Greece. You can find all this data on our site of the Hellenic Foundation for Books and Culture. And you can find a lot of things that have to do with our actions and in general with all the pillars of strategy that we implement as a foundation. In this year book fair, our motto is readers from generation readers, because we want to create this Gen R in the same way that we say Gen AI. So it's very important to have a Gen readers. This is happening in all international book fairs. We started planning it a year ago, and we saw that this is a common element, that is everybody is interested in that. Even book publishers and content creators used to believe that there are readers, but now this is not self-evident. We must find new ways to attract them. Our country of honor this year is Bulgaria. That's very important for us. We want to get to know their culture and civilization and vice versa. Bulgaria has prepared excellent events in that framework. This afternoon is the official opening of the Bulgarian stand. Later on, we might have a discussion, if you like. Before concluding, I'd like to show you some actions that we have developed in our foundation. In Athens, at Syntagma subway station, we have set up an exchange library. What do I mean? Book becomes part of our everyday life. It has started operating. It is on a pilot basis. We try to feed readers and the public, but of course the book must realize what this exchange library means. It means that I leave a book to the library and I take another book. We have also been preparing other actions. We are interested in the digitalization of the publishing content. We had 10 literary journals that were digitalized. We have brought them to the foreground in a contemporary way. We have 431 volumes that exist on our site. We give emphasis on the digital infrastructure of our foundation and through the GreekLit program. All this is done via electronic applications and forms. Concerning the Thessaloniki Book Fair, we have a special site called Thessaloniki International Book Fair, which is a tool of communication and visibility for professionals as well. This year we're having TBF Connect. Most of you know it. We have had 137 active profiles of literary agents, book publishers who want to have their appointments online. We want this platform to continue existing after the end of the book fair. We would like this TBF Connect to be alive so that it will continue influencing the industry part. We're also interested in having partnerships with other forms of art and culture. I believe in the convergence of books, cinema, and video games. We have got actions that combine book and cinema. With music now, we have got the Spotify list with songs that derive from books. This attracts the interest of young people mainly. And this is a reading aid, if you like, because they will listen to a song and try to find it. In Platform 13, in Pavilion 13, we presented the AI platform in which you can feed games so that children can reveal and find out, discover the book and find out different forms of books. Digital books can act complementary without substituting the text. Earlier, there were 5 schools here, and I asked those children about it, but no child reads digitally. Every all children read printed books. They might be on social media all day long, but if they want to read a book, they prefer a printed book, not a digital book. We have also got a partnership with the Concert Hall of Athens. I don't want to further tire you out. I try to briefly present what is the publishing industry in Greece, what is our foundation, what are our actions. This year we pay a lot of attention to the reading part. That is all I wanted to share with you. If you want to ask any questions, we are here to answer them. Thank you very much for your presence and your attention. We wish you every success to all of you. Thank you for your attention.
Some questions or comments? I don't know. Mr. Anta from Spain.
Yeah. I would like to know if there is...
Sorry, can I give you the microphone, please?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was a great picture of the Greek publishing market. I would like to know what is the situation of the book retail channels. I mean, this comparison between bookshops, chains, e-commerce, etc. And then other question is regarding what are you mentioned the link between the audiovisual industry and the book sector and the publishing sector. Are you doing some kind of, because it's very active nowadays in Spain, the presence of publishers in cinema festival or series festival in order to the sale of rights for the preparation of films or of serials. So it's a growing business nowadays.
Thank you very much.
This is a great question. So, okay, για τα βιβλιοπωλεία for bookstores. Τα βιβλιοπωλεία.
About bookstores. In Greece, there used to be big chains, but there are several small bookstores that are very important for the sustainability and the diversity of our industry, because these bookstores have a curation and they are carefully selected. However, we see that some small bookstores close and some others open. This year, we have invited 8 bookstores from Central and Northern Greece to come here and talk about this issue, because the accessibility and distribution of books is an important issue. There are several bookstores. The biggest ones are in Athens, but they are the national hub, because on the e-commerce they can distribute their books and people from all over Greece buy them. But we want to support the bookstores in provinces, in regional areas of Greece. We shouldn't lose them. On the other hand, when we have a plethora and abundance of production, the shelf life of books is very short. So we must have a balance between production and demand. But the physical bookstores are there, and our foundation knows the problem they face, and we try to support them and do the actions that are necessary in order to support them and reinforce them. We are planning to write down and record and register the Greek bookstores, which are bookstores, not stationery shops. That's important, and it's a difficult venture. However, we'll try to do it because we want to do it. Concerning your second question, remind me, please, it was about the convergence of industries. Yes, it's very important because nowadays the content is online and there is convergence. Text, image, video become one. Our foundation has created the digital readers platform in order to bring AI on books and have a catalog of which books have been made into films, so we can have a database and move from one to the other. We are organizing the actions, as I've told you, from the book to the screen, and many people attended. Right now, we will go to a new building in Athens, and there we will include a lot of actions for young people. In Patras, we're going to have a festival during the children's book fair there. We want to create actions where we will compare these various industries, comics, video games. Publishers are aware of that. They are interested in that, but they must realize the added value that it has to their business. Our foundation has included it in our agenda, but besides that, the market must do similar relevant actions.
Book to screen is a dynamic sector for the book fairs, and last year we had a collaboration with the Frankfurt Book Fair, and Nick Teron, the director of this sector, and we tried to enhance the adaptation of Greek books, Greek literature, and to present Greek books into international book fairs with adaptations for series, for Netflix series, or for movie, for screenings, etc. And our collaboration, our MOU with the International Film Festival of Thessaloniki, and with the National Broadcasting Archives, the Greek Cinematheque, and that shows our interest in this new sector of the book industry.
Ευχαριστούμε. Άλλη ερώτηση, ναι, κυρία Τσιβάκου.
Ευχαριστώ.
I'm having two questions, and then I'd like to express two thoughts of mine. The first one, from the data that you presented, I have noticed that there is a drop in sales up to 24. You're talking about the production. Yes. Have you got an idea why have we got this drop? Concerning e-books, although there was an increase at first, after 2023, there is a drop in e-books as well. Do we know the reasons why we have got this drop? So there is a general drop in book production, not only in printed books, but in e-books as well. What's your opinion on that? One more thing I'd like to say. You mentioned something that is very interesting, and I have found it out myself. And we can all realize it in this book fair. What is that? That the Greek publications and the Greek books are very interesting and very high, and have high aesthetics. So the issue of design and graphics is an important issue in digital era. Design has started flourishing in Greece, and it has a lot of prospect. One reason for that is the book, in my view. The so carefully designed book covers. In design schools, there is a special course concerning book design. And another thought of mine that I would like to share with you is the following. We've been doing great work with cinema, but perhaps could we have a closer look at the way that books are presented? In Greece, we have a lot of book presentations, but I believe that we could have some form of website where we will present these book presentations, because several of these are extremely interesting. So we could upload the summary of this book presentation in cooperation with the publisher. This abstract of the book presentation would be very interesting. Thank you very much, Mrs. Tsimakou, for your questions. Mrs. Tsimakou is a member of the board of directors of the Hellenic Foundation for Books and Culture. Concerning book production, these fluctuations are not great. The numbers that you see here have to do with all forms of books. It is mainly the digital books that have dropped. Tomorrow, there is going to be a presentation on the most recent statistics concerning printed books, and the number is 12,000 every year. That's a high figure. The lady's comment is off mic. I cannot listen to translate. My apologies. It might be the economic crisis that might lead to this fluctuation. This plays a role. Could you please tell all speakers to use a microphone in order to be translated? Thank you very much. Of course, this affects all costs. When we had an increase in paper, this led to a further increase. Yes, but in general, the number of printed book production is stable and remains high. And the higher the cost, especially due to the war, if it continues, we will have a further drop in the book sales because people will have to buy petrol and gas. They won't buy books. So if we have the recession that is expected in the international environment, this will affect book market. So we should be prepared to that. We are talking about production and not sales. We don't have any data about the sales. About your idea about the events and actions, we keep it in mind and we'll try to see how we will turn it into flesh. You also talked about something else too. What was it? It was your comment. Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Tsimakou.
This is the first event of the fellowship program, and something particular in our market is that the absence of agents. So I think that we have just one agency, a literary agency, or two, but one is more active, yes, the agency in which Mrs. Katerina Fragou is the head, and therefore we give so importance to translators. Translators are acting as agents for the Greek literature. So for us, the translation sector is very vital, and therefore we support translators and translation, because translators are our agent, our promoters, and our ambassadors in the foreign markets.
Και να συμπληρώσω αυτά που λέω.
I would like to add something to what the President said. That's why it's not easy to substitute or replace translators. They are the physical ambassadors of the Greek books and the Greek language. Literary agencies are too, but they have increased in recent years. We're having 4 or 5 literary agencies. They comprise of younger people. There is a lot of interest expressed to young people. University students are interested in this genre and in this sector. They are interested in that. But it's difficult when Greek is a small language.
Because we have the Greek is a language with a very, very big symbolic capital, but financially is not so strong. So we need financial tools, as I have already mentioned. A question, μια ερώτηση.
Γεια σας.
Vitra Manza from Anatolia College in Thessaloniki. Congratulations on the actions organized by the Hellenic Foundation for Books and Culture. I believe that Greece is quenching for this kind of book actions. Have you got statistics about how many books are purchased, how many Greeks read books? I would be interested in that. That's a great deficit in the Greek market. We do not have data concerning book sales. That's a deficit, a gap. We would like to cover this gap, but this presupposes a lot of consensuses. The Greek publishers should give their consent. We know what the method should be. The Greek phileas that gives precise and exact book sales daily. What types of books are sold daily? And that would be very interesting for us to achieve it, because we will have a better knowledge of the market, of the trends, that will rely on quantitative data and not on general impressions.
Counting the sales.
Yes, was really interesting. I mean, we have in Spain several systems. We have a report that is produced every year for the Publishers Association with the data that comes from the publishers. So we report every year this study on the evolution of the book market. We have a second one that is the collaboration with Nielsen GfK, that is the big company on. But the problem with Nielsen in the case of Spain, they don't control the digital sales and not the educational book sales. So for fiction and non-fiction, for general trade books, is a good report on that field, because include e-commerce, Amazon, etc. And then similar to Phileas, we have a system developed by the Spanish Indie Bookshops Federation, that the name is LibriRef. That reports, there are nowadays around 1,000 indie bookshops that reports every day the data regarding the books that are sold in this network of indie bookshops. So it's a very useful information, especially for small and medium-sized publishers, because they are present in this kind of indie bookshops. So this is more or less the. I will speak about more in detail during my presentation about these tools. Thank you.
Αυτό που λέει ο κύριος Άντα, που είναι πολύ σημαντικό και βλέπουμε.
What Mr. Ada is saying, and is important, is what is needed is partnerships, and the market must want to do that. That's the most important thing. the market itself, the publishers and the bookstores should have the mentality of sharing their data and research data. We must have this deficit in the mentality of research. If the market doesn't want that, then a national organization cannot come on top. We want to have evidence-based policies, based on evidence, not on speculations and general impressions. An organization like ours try to create it and produce our own reports and data based on our reports and the synergies of various organizations of the National Statistics Authority, the trade organization, and so on. We do have time for one last question. A short comment, if you allow me.
Very two brief, let's say, remarks about audiobooks and e-books. I believe the data, and it has to do with the databases, not the work that was presented. The data actually hugely underrepresent the production of Greek audiobooks. So if you go through them, you find there are many more, I mean, from the official platforms. And this is important, I believe, because it is, it kind of is a success story, let's say, of digitization. Because we have the two main platforms Panagiotis mentioned, there are even more. And I mention this because it is a very dynamic segment of the market, very hopeful also for the aims of the foundation of attracting new readers and new audiences. And also because we have Jose Manuel Anda in the audience too, it is interesting that we are now at a critical point in the sense that we have 4 years of audiobooks behind us, and around this time it will be the point where we'll know if there is a real breakthrough for the market, like it happened in Spain, because I think it took some years to be established, or it will be, you know, a much more slower process. And in a way, audiobooks are in themselves a very good example of this crossover, this content commercialization through using the original IP of the book for something quite different purposes. But it was just a comment, just to be a little bit more optimistic about digital.
Να συμπληρώσω απλά σαν ένα σχόλιο. Εμείς είμαστε υπέρ της ψηφιακής.
I would like to add something. We are in favor of digital era as a foundation, but in this digital era, we don't have real measurements concerning the impact of audiobooks. What are the sales? What is the audience? Yes, we have a big production, but is it feasible for a publisher? For an audiobook, we need a studio, we need the voice, so we must find a balance in order to be a sustainable good in its demand and production. We want to have the parallel coexistence of all forms of books because one complements the other. One does not substitute the other. However, what we are missing are real data of the market, both for audiobooks and e-books, so that the public can buy this content on a reliable data. And the issue of distribution is important. The publishers can buy the publishers started with e-books, but not anymore. Platforms have this ability, but we don't have an idea of what's happening with readers. I'd like to stress one more time that we are in favor of digital era, always in balance. Let's strike a balance concerning printed books and e-books.
I think that now is the presentation of the Bulgarian publishing market. Okay, so.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Thank you very much.